Hello! Welcome back to Let's Play TEW2013. This is 2K. This is SWF Episode 2. And we're going to do a quick roster update. So, if you already know the roster of SWF, or if you really don't care about my opinion on the roster of SWF, this is a largely skippable episode, to be honest. But you know, if you don't know who they are, if you want to try and get my take on the characters, then I would sit through it. First off, we have American Machine. He's a big Hoss type, heavyweight, pro-American gimmick face. He's too old to be a prospect, but honestly, too bad to be a decent worker. So he'll probably be lower card for his entire career. He's the current tag team champion with Des Davids as the All-Americans. I'll get more into that on Dez's turn because he's the more important member of that team. American Machine is and will probably be the entire time just a jobber. Angry Gilmore, great wrestler, great backbone of the company type guy. He's upper mid card, but he's really a mid carder. He holds the mid card title. He's a face right now, but his gimmick is kind of a loose cannon type guy. Although right now he's running a straight edge gimmick, which I guess would equate him to being like a CM Punk type face, where my addiction is wrestling. So I guess I'll push him like that. I think he's better as a heel than a face. I'm more creative with him as a heel than a face. But I don't know. He's a good worker. Probably the best or the second best in the SWF. So there you go. Bart Biggins was a high flying guy. Now sucks. He's an enhancement talent. He's the lowest of the low on the totem pole. With his brother Brett, they'll probably be cut before the end of the year, to be honest. Brandon James, he got big in Cornellverse version of ECW, but he is not a hardcore wrestler. I mean, he can do it, but that's not what his big thing is. He is a brawler and a damn good one, and he is a big heavyweight who could go at it with people and have really good matches. He's using a big money franchise player gimmick right now, which is fun, and he has probably the best manager in the business as his manager, so he's set up to succeed. However, and there's always a however, he has creative control, which means it is near impossible to push him. Because he will, if you get him too big, he'll just start refusing to lose. And while he's good and you want to push him, not while he has creative control. Brett Biggins, just like Bart, they're heels now, but it doesn't matter. Like, they're just not good anymore. Captain Atomic, fun as hell to write for. Not that great in the ring. He's a big Hoss type guy, punches, kicks, slams. His character is a guy who was he was hit by radioactive something and became a superhero. It's pretty childish and weird because SWF has a risque type product, so he's out of place almost, but still fun as hell to push, especially with Lobster Warrior and Jungle Lord. And there's kind of the history of having something for the kids, even if a lot of the storylines should be more adultish because they're risque. Christian Faith, he is the he's heavyweight, so he's not a direct correlation to Shawn Michaels, but he has the skills He puts on great matches. He should really be in the main event until the day he retires. And he has through-the-roof momentum in this. He's in the big main event story to start off with. So, expect him to get a big push. His gimmick right now is a lame, old-school face, like, I'm a good guy because I'm Christian faith. The fans love me because I'm good. I don't know if I'm going to keep with that or not, but that's kind of what he's been doing, so don't mess with success, I guess. Des Davids, he's a football player. Blew out his back, I guess. I thought it was his knee, but he messed up his back and ended up going into wrestling. He's big, strong. I always think of Monty Williams or Marcus Corvon when I book him, as he uses the quarterback sack, which I just imagine is the pounce, and he has a lot of he's only 28, so he has a lot of potential. He's not being pushed too hard right now, which is probably due to the fact that he came from United States Pro Wrestling, and you don't want to like push someone from another company right into superstardom, because it makes your company look weak. But he'll get pushed slowly up the card, probably as a heel, not as a face. Eric Eisen, the boss's son, who wrestles. He used to be a high-flying type. Wasn't that good at it, but he did all right. He injured his knee, so then he became a brawler, won the heavyweight title, and then sort of drifted down the card. He sort of equates to The Miz, except I don't think he could get some of the ring work that The Miz can. And that's saying something, because The Miz isn't exactly a ring master worker. Ring master worker. Okay. But, yeah, Eisen. He exists. He's in a feud right now with Angry Gilmore. Expect that to continue, because it has potential and it's a good feud. So, Everest. He's big, he's fat, he squashes people. He was higher on the card in former games, but now he's dropped, like Tensai dropped, where people realized he wasn't that good, so they just kinda, he fell down the card. He's a monster with no monster aura, and that's bad. So he'll probably get cut soon. Freddy Garcia, he plays a fabulous heel, but he plays the look at me, I'm different fabulous heel, as opposed to being a heel and fabulous at the same time. I plan to change that, where, he's heel first, fabulous second. Still fabulous, but heel first, fabulous second. He teams with James Prudence, and I'm kind of going to have James be the like neutral one, whereas Freddy is like the full-on evil guy. So that's how that'll go. Huey Cannonball is in a jobber tag team with Jefferson Stardust. The Awesomeness. They're a like pseudo rock star gimmick, and it's a good run for them. I think they have decent chemistry, and they're fun to book. But right now they're definitely a jobber team. Jack Bruce, the most popular worker in the company. Not the best in the ring, but holy shit, on the mic is he amazing. Definitely someone you want to have talking more than wrestling. But with the right worker can get a really good feud going. The only issue is he gets kind of cranky if he loses to certain people. So you gotta build him carefully. He is 40, so it might be time for him to start being phased out of the main event. But then again, Christian Faith is sort of a main eventer for life, so he could get the same rub. He was just part of a big storyline where, like, Eric Eisen threw a huge amount of obstacles in his way, and he eventually overcame them. And that made him the biggest guy in wrestling right now. Plays a rock star gimmick, and is kind of supposed to be talented at singing, so he kind of lives the gimmick. Gimmick wise, I pull him more Chris Jericho than Axl Rose, where he's not full on 80s rocker. He's more wrestler first, who also does rock stuff and is loved by the faces, by the fans, not the faces. James Prudis, sidekick to Freddie Garcia. Suave heel, cares more about getting the ladies than doing evil things or even winning matches. So he's pretty good in the ring, more of a high flyer than a... Actually, he's average at everything now that I'm looking at his stats. So, really suited for the mid-card. Doesn't have the skills to go above it, but a great mid-card worker. So, expect him to kind of chill in the mid-card with Freddie Garcia and cause trouble for those plucky faces. Yes, Bobby, I know. Jefferson Stardust. C. Huey Cannonball. Young. Can be molded into something bigger. Joe Sexy, 40 years old, mid-carder, on the decline. I always, in 2010, he was turned face and given a chance to go to the main event, which I really usually ran with and pushed him all the way to the main event. However, canonically that failed. So, he turned face, failed, turned back heel, and has no momentum, basically. Although it looks like he's building it back up in this save, because he's got a 74 and a decent gimmick. With a good feud, he is an amazing worker. However, I don't think I'm going to be able to push him to the main event in this game, and that makes me very sad. So, we'll see what I can do. I'm going to try. John Greed. Young, but he's sort of running out of time on being a prospect. There's only so long you could be that guy who is supposed to be the next big thing before you actually have to deliver. He has never delivered. Works in a cult gimmick. Expect him to start recruiting members into the some sort of gimmicky occult level, oh my god, words, stable. So expect that to happen. Jungle Lord, Tarzan, the wrestler. Fun guy, brawler. He can put on good matches with main eventers and can main event, but should never be a main eventer himself. He is sort of in the superheroes team with Lobster Warrior and, oh geez, Captain Atomic. So expect that to go places. Maybe pick up a fourth worker. Who knows? I don't. Kurt Laramie, King of the Streets. He's a, he's a brawler from the streets. Not very good, but I love him. He's a bully right now, so expect him to push around smaller wrestlers, get wins over smaller wrestlers, and then have bigger wrestlers come in and defeat him to be basically the mid-card momentum pusher. So he'll get momentum from beating on little guys, and then give that momentum to a main eventer. Lobster Warrior is a great worker, good basics, good consistency, decent psychology, who is kind of stuck in this upper mid-card face place where he's got this goofy gimmick that'll never let him be a true main eventer, but he's too good to be a mid-carder. I'm not going to take the mask off him at all. Not going to happen. Merrick Koklov. He's a big Russian guy, giant, so think Big Show level Russian guy who has not lost yet. and can only work at the pay-per-views. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with him. Usually I make him like a challenge. Like he is the big mountain to climb in the SWF, so you'll see like Jack Bruce try to climb Mount Cockloff or something. I'm not going to do that this time, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do, so I can't really say too much on him. He's good in the ring, you know, great brawler, but everything else is pretty bad. Mark Dubois. He is the poster child for push too hard, too young. He was supposed to be the next big thing, flamed out, has a drug problem, has an attitude problem, will likely end up in USPW by the end of this. Yes, Bobby, I know. Because I usually cut him the first mess up he does. But if he can, you know, if he can get himself on track and not have a single issue in 2013, I'll kind of restart the 3-strike system, because it says here he has, you know, 2 suspensions already. So the 3rd suspension would be get out the door. But if he could go through all of 2013 and not get in trouble, because he's certainly not going to get pushed during 2013, then I will reinstate his push and give him a shot. Paul Huntingdon, Rich Blue Blood. Think Hunter Hearst Helmsley before he turned into Triple H. The rich Connecticut Blue Blood, who he's part of the best manager in the game's stable. He works with Brandon James, who, if you remember, is the big guy who has the good skills but the creative control. I like to push them as sort of a group Jeff Jarrett, where they're like, we have all the pull backstage. It's fun, but it can get a little tiring. Huntington's usually a project of mine. I usually like trying to push him into the main event. So we'll see if that works this time. Randy Bumpole, along with Zimmy Bumpole, are a young, I mean, they're 28 now, but they're still youngish, tag team who has been paying their dues, working their way up the card, have gotten to the mid-card level, and legitimately have become a tag team, I guess, dynasty legend in the SWF. So their time in the tag team division is almost over. They will probably be going on singles runs shortly. Remo is a great brawler, somewhat disappointing in his main event role, but holy crap, if you push him the right way, using his menace and his star quality, he can tear up ratings. Matches not so much, but ratings, holy crap. He's great as a secondary heel, but we'll see how it goes. Rich Money's going to be the main heel. He'll probably be the secondary heel, which means that Vengeance is sort of out of luck, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So he's a great, you know, menacing guy. He's alright at brawling. He's okay in the ring. Nothing fantastic. He's popular, so that's good, and he's in a main event storyline right now. That's also good. We shall see where this goes, because I haven't quite made my decision on this. His gimmick is just that he's big and menacing. Rich Money, one of the most gimmicky characters in the game. He's rich. He pays people off. He was Jack Bruce's main rival. He was a face for a little while. Went back to playing the heel, but even as a face, he was a heelish face, where he just didn't work with anyone, didn't trust anyone, but was so good in the ring that people cheered him. Now he's back to being a sneaky heel, and he is definitely better at that, and he is fantastic in the ring. He is the #1 guy. He should have the title. However, he's almost too good for the title, doesn't need it type thing. I haven't decided if I'm going to move the title to him or not, to be honest. I honestly don't know. Rogue is formerly Jack Gidrock, which is good because now I can actually say his name as opposed to before. He is the third part of Emma Chase's stable, which is the oh my gosh, she's the best manager in the game, so he's part of that group. He's sort of supposed to be kind of the next big thing heel, and may become the third best heel in the company. He's currently in a feud with Valiant because that's been going on for 2 years, so it needs to be blown off, like it needs to be done. And he's a sneaky scoundrel, which I usually book like Edge. So, and the company has enough big hulking guys, so an Edge type guy is good to have as a heel. Squeaky McLean is a decent wrestler who is not big enough to really be a main event heel, so he kind of gets stuck in the mid-card heel route. Good worker, older, likely won't be able to get into the main event, especially if I want to really make an attempt at getting Joe Sexy there. But we'll see. He's good enough to kind of surprise you once in a while, and he starts with crazy momentum. Steve Freely. Fuck Steve Freely. Really, fuck this guy. I hate him. He gets like the biggest push in the world from the beginning. Youngest world champion. Oh, he's the world champ at the start. He's so good, and he doesn't like SWF's product, so he leaves almost immediately. Like that's sort of being gamey and knowing what's going to happen. But I just don't like him. I don't like the fact that he's been giving everything by this company, and almost no matter what, he'll leave. It is complete bullshit. So he will get depushed. He will lose his title, and it's not really a spoiler to say Steve Freely it will be less than a mid-carder before his contract runs out, which is in 6 months. Okay, he might be a mid-carder then. We'll see. Valiant. He is the former partner of Rogue. He's sort of a generic face guy. Almost generic in everything. He's okay at brawling. He's okay in the ring. He's just kind of a generic face who is great for the mid card and could possibly go further, but there's no real room up at the top, so he'll stay in the mid card for now. That's about it. Yep. Okay, Vengeance is the dark side heel, who is, in my mind, he is the personification of revenge. So the way I have him work is he doesn't get revenge for himself. Someone will, like a heel will be wronged in his eyes, and he will get revenge for the heel. So, for example, say Rich Money losing the title to Steve Freely. Vengeance is attempting to get revenge on Steve Freely for Rich Money. Rich Money doesn't even have to ask him. He is the personification of revenge and will move wherever revenge tells him to go. That said, he's not as good as Rich Money. He's not as good as Remo, so he is at best the third best heel, which is not really a good place to be. It's fringe main eventer at best, but he could have some really good storylines and could end up becoming a big part of my SWF. And Zimmy is basically the same as Randy. He is the one who got Kayfabe injured by Rich Money, and will likely get Kayfabe injured again to progress the storyline of Randy trying to get revenge. Haven't decided how that ends yet, but it's a good storyline. I've had it go both ways, where Randy does get his revenge in a shocking manner, or Rich just kind of shuts them down, kicks them back to the mid-card, and then moves on to a greater challenge. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And that's the roster. I'm not going to actually book the show right now. It's Father's Day. I got some things to go do. But I wanted to get this up. So, I guess tell me what you think. If you want anyone to get pushed. If you don't want anyone to get pushed. I'll be pushing my usual suspects. So Kurt Laramie will probably get a push. Joe Sexy will get a push. Steve Freely will free fall. So we'll see how this all goes. Thanks for watching, and have a good Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.